From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand has expressed her condolences to the families of Israeli hostages and at least 7 Canadian citizens killed in the Israel-Hamas war. Her statement came as Prime Minister Mark Carney was in Egypt yesterday with U.S. President Donald Trump and others for the signing of a peace plan to end the more than 2-year war in Gaza. Hamas released all of the 20 remaining living hostages, and Israel released hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Here's reporter Lionel Moise.
President Trump, returning from the Middle East, spoke about the complicated road ahead. He would not commit to a two-state solution for the Palestinians.
I'm not talking about single state or double state or two-state. We're talking about the rebuilding of Gaza.
More than 20 world leaders gathered for yesterday's historic peace summit and signing of the ceasefire agreement, but noticeably absent were Israel and Hamas, and the memorandum appeared largely symbolic and vague.
Carney briefly spoke yesterday with leaders from European and Middle Eastern countries, as well as the Palestinian Authority and the Secretary General of the UN. The Prime Minister's office said they discussed next steps for collaboration, those being humanitarian, security, and reconstruction needs. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand is in India today, marking the first visit by a Canadian cabinet minister as our two nations seek a stronger trade partnership after 2 years of diplomatic strain. Anand was to meet with her Indian counterpart in New Delhi, later with business leaders in Mumbai. Yesterday, she met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The union representing Alberta teachers and the bargaining committee for the provincial government are set to meet today for the first time since a province-wide strike began October 6th. The strike by 51,000 teachers with the Alberta Teachers Association has kept some 740,000 students out of classrooms. Finance Minister Nate Horner said last week the province had received a new proposal from the union, but he said the offer was complex and that the two sides wouldn't meet until after the holiday weekend to give it time to go over it. A beluga trainer who was fired from Marineland earlier this year says the park's crumbling infrastructure and lack of resources have created dangerous conditions for its remaining belugas, and they should be moved immediately. Christy Burgess is speaking out for the first time about her experience at Marineland after the Niagara Falls, Ontario park threatened to euthanize 30 belugas if it doesn't receive emergency funding from Ottawa.
They are very loving. They do show affection. They form very close social bonds with each other, and those bonds are ever-changing.
The federal government says it will not give emergency funding to Marineland, which has gone silent in recent days about its plan for the whales. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Toronto Blue Jays are down, but not out in Major League Baseball's playoffs. The Jays were thumped 10-3 by the Seattle Mariners last night. They're now trailing 2-0 in the American League Championship Series. Toronto had just 6 hits in losing their second in a row at home, but manager John Schneider says he'll never lose faith in this team.
They just made more swings than us the last 2 games. We got to figure out a way to limit damage, 1, and 2, generate more offense.
The best of 7 ALCS moves to Seattle for games 3 and 4 and hopefully 5 starting tomorrow. Blake Snell allowed 1 base runner on 8 shutout innings as the visiting Dodgers opened the National League Championship Series Monday with a 2-1 victory over the Milwaukee Brewers. In NFL action, Bijan Robinson matched a career high with 170 rushing yards, and the Atlanta Falcons beat the Buffalo Bills 24-14 Monday night. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.